Here is the part of the article that I'm going to read verbatim. And it goes on to say, I asked both Microsoft and Game Science to comment on the optimizations issue, seeking some clarity. Was the Xbox Series S to blame? Question mark. Game Science didn't respond, but this morning, a Microsoft spokesperson offered the below statement. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road, ladies and gentlemen, and there is some fugaziness going on. And the spokesperson for Microsoft simply said this: We're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong for Xbox Series X and S, and are working with Game Science to bring that game to our platforms." And this is where I think they dropped it like it's hot, Gamsley. We can't comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we remain focused on making Xbox the best platform for gamers, and great games are at the center of that. Okay, so, I mean, I'm not a 3-star detective, and I can say that maybe someone will have a different opinion, and that's great. But what that says to me is because they simply could have said the first paragraph and been done with it. We're working with Game Science. We'll let you know when a release date is happening. But they didn't stop there, Gamsley. We cannot comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we remain focused on making Xbox the best platform for gamers, and great games are at the center of that. That tells me that this was another Sony money had a deal, whether it be for a 3-month block, a 6-month block, a 12-month block. They paid Game Science to hold this game back for a bag of cash. Now, is that what happened? Well, maybe you don't think that. Maybe somebody in the chat doesn't think that. That's what I think, because Sony, well, you know, it's interesting. They've been called slimy by the head of Xbox or Microsoft Gaming, and now we kind of know why. This is another one of those deals. Now, again, I know I'm going to get people pushing back in the pack. Hey, boom! It's just business, and you are right. It is just business, but it's disgusting business, because this was originally announced to launch across all platforms all at the same time. The game has been in development for over 5 years. You cannot tell me that they did not have the specs in their possession for the Series X and S. And interestingly enough, we cannot even say that they didn't get help from Microsoft, because they just said that they did. So to me, this is a load of BS. Let's get your hot take.
Yeah, so this is going to be the problem Microsoft probably runs in for a long time until Game Pass is on full swing. It's to make sure that third-party developers are on their platform day and date. That's the most important thing. They need to make sure that all these games are on the Xbox platform, releasing the same time as everywhere. It's going to be a huge problem for them, only because we know that Sony is going out there with enticing deals, like going out there maybe in the background it looks harmless. It's like, oh, look, let me help you, look, have our team, we'll help you, we'll boost your visibility, we'll, you know, send you, I don't know, we'll fund something for you, just you know, be on our platform first. I don't think there's a contract out there right now basically locking them down by any means. I don't think they're making that deal in the background, or else it would have just said PlayStation 5 launch exclusive, you know, if they did. So they're doing something else. I think they went there first. They're helping the smaller team. PlayStation has the biggest console out there right now. The teams are probably prioritizing the PlayStation version of the game. It's been shown in court that's what they've been doing too. Like Phil Spencer said, look, we're not on the top right now, and Sony gets to kind of come in and negotiate these unofficial things And I think that's what's happening. It's almost this handshake in the back saying, "Hey, look, here's a help. Here's a team to help you. We'll push you here. Focus on us because we're the biggest platform," and so on and so on. And I think Xbox was just left on the side, like they usually freaking are. And I hate that that's a thing. But right now, I think they're just too small to. The console market is just too small for these third parties to really prioritize at the same time if they are small teams and if they are lacking some sort of money or tech. And we could read between the lines. Xbox sent out a team just like they did with Baldur's Gate 3, but we know that Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios weren't paid exactly by Sony to exclude Xbox. They were just having a little bit of issues and prioritizing other platforms first. So that's what's happening here. It's a Larian Studio deal all over again, and I don't think it's an actual deal, but that's an unpopular opinion in a storm of we want to shoot guns at Sony. But yeah, that's my take.
Well, I mean, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. That's why we love having you on this particular show each and every week, because we don't always agree. But you know what? We always walk away like brothers, and
Yes,
we may
sir.
have different opinions. And you know what? That's what great discourse is all about. So,
yes, sir.
And again, I like your stand. I appreciate your stand, sir. Fuzzy, I want to bring you into this conversation because anyone that knows the Twitter site, it's Xbox News for Koreans. It's at Korea Xbox News on X or Twitter. And they were very busy this weekend. Very busy indeed. Now, obviously, they cover a lot of Korean news. And, well, this team is from Korea, from what I understand, right? Game Science. And like I said, they were very busy, chat. And one of their tweets, which I have in front of me, I have quite a few of them actually. The one I want to open up with is this. They say the developer/publisher announced the exact Xbox version release date 8 months before the date. But 8 months later, they won't have it completed, the Xbox optimization work that needs to be done. Please let me know if there's another game in video game history like this particular case. My common sense tells me that in order to announce such an exact release date for all platforms, all versions must already be fairly complete. Now, that makes a whole mess of sense to me. Well, that's not the only tweet that they had. They also add, FYI, it's already been documented in U.S. court filings that Sony pays third party to exclude Xbox. And they provided the actual document where it says previous versions of Final Fantasy shipped on Xbox, but the reason that Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation exclusive is because Sony paid to exclude Xbox. That's in the court documents. But that's not where it ends. Because I have another tweet. And let me just pull that up right here. They go on to bring up two particular points and cases. How Microsoft reacts when an anticipated game for Xbox has optimization issue, and they have two particular games where Microsoft actually sent the Series S team to get this stuff done. One of which it came the way of Pal World. On Xbox's part, this is according to Pal World, we're working with Pocket Pair to help provide support for Xbox versions of the game. We're providing support to enable dedicated servers, offering engineering resources to help with the GPU and memory optimizations, speeding up the process to make Pal World updates available for players, and working with the team to optimize our title for the platform. But that's not where it ends. It also goes on to bring up the point where you just mentioned it, Gamsley. Baldur's Gate 3, and Xbox specifically tweets this. In partnership with the talented people at Larian Studios, we're thrilled to share Baldur's Gate 3 will be coming to Xbox later this year. Stay tuned for more details. And of course, it goes on to say, to answer some questions we're getting, we'll continue to work with Larian to explore an additional split screen for the Xbox Series S post-launch. Now, they sent a team there as well.
Mhm.
Again, different opinions. It's fine. This is one of those, at least for me, disgusting moves by Sony. And what this ultimately does for me, I'm not boycotting the game. I cannot wait to play Black Myth Wukong because of a couple of reasons. One, it looks dope. Two, it's a lore that Mrs. Boom and I really appreciate and enjoy. And three, it is more action based than it is soul. So that has me very excited. All right.
Mhm.
But considering of where this game could potentially land, let's just say for shits and giggles, chat, that this game is a 3-month delay and doesn't land until December. Well, it's a game that now I'm not buying. Now I'm not giving them my money because, well, Indiana Jones is going to be out in probably December. I'm still going to be playing Avowed. I'm still going to be playing a bunch of other games that are coming out that are not Xbox exclusives, but are going to be a part of the release of the year. You know, you have the new Assassin's Creed, you got the new Star Wars. There is a whole mess of games coming out between now and the end of the year. This releases in August. You have a winner chicken dinner, at least for me, because at least Avowed is not out, right? Because that's supposedly dropping in October. You're probably gonna. I mean, again, Indiana Jones could be November for all we know, but you got Call of Duty in October as well. You also have Indiana Jones. For me, ladies and gentlemen, this gets put on the pay no mind list. I'll buy it when it's on sale, and maybe it's me being a dick. I don't know, but all I know is that it's coming out in a time where I don't have as much time as many other gamers because I produce 5 live shows a week and I still run a household. So I try to get gaming in there in the middle. And this game has now been taken off the must play list because of this delay. Now, is it because I'm being vindictive? No, it's because there's too much to play. And I'd rather play the other games than play this. Like, am I going to play this over Star Wars or Assassin's Creed or Avowed or Indiana Jones? The answer is no, I will not. So now they've lost a sale. And I'm going to go buy it, but I'm not buying it for full boat. I'm going to buy it when it's on sale. I'm going to get it at the end of the year, and get that end of the year, save $20 kind of a deal. Let's get your thoughts on what happened with this game.
I'm kind of torn on a couple of levels of this, and I have to give a shout out to Pong as far as putting it in a way as far as how this could have been a deal, but not necessarily a deal. And we've kind of seen something similar with Callisto Protocol, but amazingly that team released the game on time or at the same time. It's just that it was missing a few features that seemed a little odd, like mirror reflections and things like that. But one of the things that I kind of give the side eye to Xbox, but then again, they're a platform. They can't be sending, a dev team of ninjas to every studio that can't figure out the Series S or can't figure out how to, optimize for their platform. But then again, this was a game that was the most wishlisted game on Steam for a while. So that's one of those they may have sort of kind of nudged a little bit closer, just so they don't have another Baldur's Gate type of situation. Not saying that it was guaranteed to be a game of the year, but it does have a lot of attention. It does have a lot of eyes, and it's been exciting gaming fans for, the past 3 or 4 years at least. But the thing that Sony tends to do, although it may not be a deal as far as marketing or having the exclusivity, is that they will go to a team, especially a team that may have some veterans on it, but it's a new studio. They're new to producing a game on that platform. Sony is willing to say, this is a game that our player base likes. Let's go ahead and intervene and say, hey, what's the timeline on this game releasing? Because before the announcement, like 8 months prior, where it was announced that it was coming to consoles and PC, it was going to be a PC release and then maybe eventually come to console. But what PlayStation would tend to do, or what's more likely in their thought process, is send a team so that way it can release the same time as PC. Maybe that's a way of excluding Xbox to some extent. Maybe it's another way of looking at it to not have their console, be on the secondary cadence as opposed to PC launch. So if they're sending additional help or resources, money, cash, whatever, that's their way of playing kind of the dirty behind the scenes game of keeping stuff on their platform, or at least making sure or ensuring that it's going to be on their platform in a timely manner. Whether that's the case, or if it is more scrupulous where Sony kind of paid money to prioritize their platform, or if it's just the studio looking at the PlayStation player base, being that they sold 100 million consoles, or more than 100 million of the PS4, and they're on their way to 50 or 60 million for the PS5. They're like, well, yeah, we could probably stand a better chance of getting more sales on that larger base. Not that Xbox is that far behind. Like, if I'm understanding, it's somewhere in the 40 million range on these current series of consoles, if not more by now. But whatever case, a lot of devs seem to prioritize PlayStation because of it being the market leader, as it states in console sales. But for me, I wasn't planning on buying this on console anyway. Just these types of games that are not a first party type of game, I've now kind of pushed to buying those on PC as an option, because I have that option. It makes it easier if I should choose to play this on a portable or a handheld, like a Steam Deck that I already own. It makes it a little bit easier, or I can play it on my desktop PC. But I think the bigger thing now is Xbox should probably play the same game. And one of the things I said on like Xbox Ultimate on Friday is they're now, and we're going to get into the whole FTC thing. It looks like they're at the light at the end of the tunnel, even though technically when they closed the deal, they were at the end of the tunnel. But as far as the noise and the drama and the background with the FTC, since they seem to be clearing a lot of that, I would say play the bidding war with Sony. So if it's the case that they're doing these slimy tactics, make it more expensive for them each and every time. And just for example's sake, if we look back at like GTA 4, when it first released, originally it was supposed to be a PS4 exclusive. But Microsoft paid a counter offer. That counter offer also guaranteed that they got the DLC that PS3 didn't get. So there's ways that they could play this game. Sony's bank is only but so big. And it's not to say that Microsoft needs to, go to their coffers of, King Microsoft to be able to, play this game. But some of the profits that Microsoft or that Xbox is making in itself as its own entity are enough to play this game. Maybe not toe for toe in every case with Sony, but definitely make it more expensive, especially while they seem like they want to focus on movie theaters and non-gaming related things. I think this is the better time to strike and kind of, throw your weight around that you have at this moment, especially with things like Call of Duty in your pocket, to make it so, let's say, normally if PlayStation was going to get the marketing rights for a game like this, or even Grand Theft Auto, bid 3 to 5 million higher and keep on playing that game until either you, one, win it, or two, you make them spend probably an extra 20 million that they don't really want to part with. That's going to eventually take away from their first party. But that's a whole nother way to look at it. But for me, I'm still going to wind up getting this on CD keys, on Steam, get it at a discount, cheaper than what it goes for retail on Steam, and play it that way. But it is not a good look for that studio to kind of allow these things to happen. As we get into this transition in this generation into the next, where there could be a toppling of the market leader, I would say you don't want to necessarily be on the bad side of Microsoft or Xbox at this point in time. So whatever they got to do to get that thing as close to August release, I think would be in their best interest. But either way you look at it, Microsoft needs to play the same dirt behind the scenes in some cases. Maybe they don't want to get their clothes dirty or whatever, but I think at this point, since the FTC is less likely to scrutinize every move you make, I think it's time to play a little of these games. I mean, Matt Booty said it in an email, we need to spend them out of business kind of thing. Show some of that same fire, and maybe make Sony regret some of these types of, sending dev teams out early just to guarantee or have a prioritize for PlayStation, and see how they enjoy that aspect.